up, Donk Squad? It's your girl Donk, and we're at it again for another Therapy Thursday, and oh my gosh, I've missed it. It feels like it's been forever, right? Well, today's Therapy Thursday is going to be fun, but it's not going to be talking about mental illnesses. Instead, we're going to be talking about something that I think everybody can relate to. It's going to be your daily dose of therapeutic advice. Everybody knows that my channel centers around mental illnesses and mental health in general. But I think that a lot of times we neglect to talk about our environment and the things that happen in our environment or the people who comes in our lives to skew our mental health and maybe send us spiraling down. And so that's why I want to start a relationship series. And today, that's what we're going to be talking about. We're going to Quentin Tarantino this, though, my favorite director, by the way. And we're going to start all the way from the end and work our way to the beginning. And today we're going to be talking about the very last and final step in a relationship, and that is closure. So what is closure? Who do we get it from? What does it even mean to have it? Why is it important? Well, generally, closure means to seek answers from the people who've hurt us or done us wrong. The biggest misconception about closure is we think that it comes from our partner. But really, closure comes from within ourselves. It's totally natural to want to know why things came to an end, especially in your mind if things were great. You want to know what you could do better for next time. Now, I'm not discouraging you from approaching your partner and trying to seek answers and what happened. But I am going to advise you to be prepared to deal with that information once you receive it. What good is it going to do for you? What is your overall end result? What are you looking to obtain? Because let's say you're approaching your partner and you want them to admit that they were cheating, for an example, and you want them to feel guilty. Well, they could just lie to you, send you down another rabbit hole, and not feel guilty at all. And this will totally put you in a different state of mind, which is not even fair to you. In fact, 9 times out of 10, what really happens is our partners end up lying to us or giving us some bogus answer like, it wasn't you, it was me.
Right.
Additionally, another huge risk that we take when we decide to approach our partners is that they will deflect or justify why they did what they did to you. So let's say your partner cheated on you and you want to seek answers. I'm telling you, when my ex cheated on me, there was absolutely nothing he could say for it to make sense in my mind. But what he could have done, and he didn't do, but many partners do, is they will say, I cheated because you were too clingy. I cheated because you gained weight. And ultimately what this does is it transfers the responsibility and the guilt from them and onto you to relieve their self-conscience from their transgressions. And that is not fair. And that can royally mess you up. So, again, be cautious when approaching your partner and seeking these answers. I think that if we can just get our partners to talk to us and tell us what's going on, that we can work it out and come to a resolution, maybe possibly even reconcile the relationship, or we feel like the truth will just set us free.
And the truth shall set you free!
And that is such a huge misconception. Because 9 times out of the 10, if your partner wants to go, let them go. If they don't want to be in your life, let them go. I hate to say it, but you might need to take a lesson out of Frozen and let it go. I mean, do I need to play the song? I gotta play the song. Okay.
Let it go, let it go.
Let it go. Yeah, Frozen just might be the theme song for this video. Real talk. What's the first step after a breakup and seeking closure? The first step is do not stalk them on social media. Do not try to figure out what they're doing or who they're doing or how they're doing it. Just leave it alone. Let them go. Secondly, do not seek revenge. I know that it is one of our primary instincts to want to just seek revenge on somebody who's hurt us, to ruin their lives as they've ruined ours, supposedly. But that is not going to get you anywhere, and it's just going to leave you feeling worse. Not to mention, it takes so much energy to seek revenge, and half the time, it just might backfire on you. So again, take a page out of Frozen and let it go. Step 3, rearrange or change your environment completely. And what I mean by that is let's say you guys work together and have the same job. Well, put in for a transfer if you don't want to quit. Get out of there. Every time you see them, every time you're around them, it's just like picking a scab. You're just never going to be able to get onto the process of emotional healing. Let's say you guys live together or share the same home, or they came over all the time to your house. Well, rearrange your furniture. Change up the things in your house. Get a new bedspread. Make things different, because even though you still live there, if you change your environment psychologically, things become different for us. It's weird, but it works. Get rid of the little mementos and the trinkets and the pictures and erase the text messages and all that other stuff. I'm telling you, if you have pictures just laying around in your phone or around the house, or you're going back and rereading the text messages, or you're looking at like the little necklaces or the motorcycle gear she got you or whatever, you need to throw that away. Throw it away. Let it go. It is just going to bring up more painful memories. I'm telling you, that is the first thing that I always do when a relationship ends. I erase this person from my life. I erase everything about them. They wanted to go, let them go. And that means all the junk that they brought with them. 4, allow yourself to feel bad. Allow yourself to cry. Allow yourself to just go through all the emotions. If you want to feel bad that day. If you want to feel good that day, feel good that day. As I said in my He Cheated video, write in a journal if you got to. Allow yourself to cry. Allow yourself to go through all the emotions. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it. Because the more you try to suppress it, the worse it's going to get. Deal with it. Deal with it now before it becomes an actual problem in the future for you. Next 2 steps are incredibly powerful and detrimental to closing the loop on closure. Step 5, forgiveness. I used to think that forgiveness was a bunch of hoopla. Really. I'm just like, yeah, forgiveness, whatever. I'm not going to forgive what they did. It doesn't make it right. You're absolutely right. And that's something that I never understood about forgiveness until I grew older. And that was, when you forgive, it doesn't mean that you're saying that what they did to you was okay. It's not okay what they did. If they ghosted you, if they cheated on you, if they cut you down, it's not okay. It's an absolute direct reflection upon them and how they view themselves and how mature they are. It has absolutely nothing to do with you, and it's not okay. But you gotta let it go. And that's what forgiveness is. It's about letting go of the anger, letting go of the, I want to whoop your sorry ass right now, you immature piece of fraud. But you just let it go. You just let it all go, because holding on to that, oh my gosh, it leads to so much anxiety and anger and resentment towards your next partner and your new relationship. And that's not fair, because then you ultimately deem yourself to be stuck in the same exact cycle that you're in right now, and that's being unhappy. And your new partner that comes along could be absolutely incredible, but yet instead you're making them pay for the mistakes that your previous partner did. And that's why forgiveness is so powerful. You have to let it go. You're not saying that it's okay, but you're saying that you're done with dealing the anger with it. Forgiving is saying what this person did was wrong, but I'm not going to let it sway me in my moral development. I don't have to let those be my values, or the way that I treat other people, or the way that I'm going to treat my next partner. Can't emphasize forgiveness enough. It is an extremely powerful tool. I mean, it is powerful. Step 6, and probably the most important one out of all of them, but it's the one that gets neglected and skipped the absolute most. This step is introspection. Introspection is so insightful. But we don't do it because we would rather focus on who's guilty and who's innocent in the relationship. Of course, if they cheated, what they did was wrong. Duh. But we need to shift our focus from that. What I think is really interesting when I'm having conversations with people on my IG or email or whatever is they'll say, but Donk, this is like the 4th time that this has happened to me. Okay, if this is the 4th time that this has happened to you, something is wrong. And that's when we really seriously need to look at ourselves and figure out what that is. For an example, if you're one of those kind of guys that loves damsels in distress, and you have to find that one girl that has all these problems and you want to fix them, well, that is your first problem right then and there. Because you can't fix nobody. That is not your responsibility. But if you choose to take that on, you choose to take on a relationship that's already starting off at a bad start, in which the person is not mentally healthy or ready to be in a relationship yet, and you try to take that on you, of course it's going to end in flames. Of course it's not going to work out. They're not ready. So stop it. People hurt us or they betray us, they cheat on us, they lie to us, they leave us for somebody else. We tend to think, oh my gosh, that person's better than me. Or, oh my gosh, like I'm not worth anything. And their self-worth plummets completely. And by their self-worth plummeting, they start to look for future partners that are not healthy for them, that are already wrong from the get-go. And that's the problem. Flip side of things, let's say that you don't have low self-esteem, and this is like a one-time deal when your partner betrayed you, and this has never happened to you. Introspection still applies to you, because any partner that we're with, and it doesn't matter how long or how serious the relationship was, you've learned something from them. I promise you, you've learned something from them. I don't know what that lesson is, but that's why you have to take out time to reflect. And a lot of people will say, but Donk, I changed so much to be with them. All right, well, let's look at this. If you change for the better, then perfect. That's awesome. Take that away. That's a positive takeaway from that relationship. And you learn something from that person. You don't go and regress and become a less evolved person. The relationship didn't work out. Accept it, but you got something out of it. Or let's say you actually started to regress and become a more worse of a person. You need to look at that as a blessing that you got the hell out of that relationship. Because if you would have stayed in, you would have just continued to spiral downhill. So everything has a lesson in it, and you have to take that away. Remember, it takes 2 to be in a relationship, and 1 + 0 will never equal 2. So if honestly you think that you had absolutely no part to play as to the reason why your relationship ended, you're pretty much dooming yourself to make the same repeated mistakes in all of your relationships to come. This is the hardest step, but it's one of the most needed steps so we can avoid this again in the future. For me, the 3 biggest things that I usually take away from my personal time of introspection after a relationship is A, realizing the behaviors that I exhibited during the relationship that may have led or caused the breakup to happen. B, realizing the type of personalities that I'm attracted to, and that I have a very bad pattern with attracting those type of personalities in which they're not ready for a relationship. Lastly, I've come to the realization that I don't have to condone my partner's behaviors and what they've done to me. But I can recognize that everybody is on their own path to reaching their highest self-potential and evolution. They're also on their own path to reaching self-happiness, and that there's no reason why I can't be on my own path to reaching my highest self-potential or happiness as well. And I know that I may sound like a total tree hugger right now, but it's true. Just because they decided to be with somebody else doesn't mean that you can't find happiness, and doesn't mean you should hate on them for finding happiness either. They're doing what they got to do for them. And so now it's time for you to start doing what you got to do for you. Well, I hope you guys learned something today from today's vlog. And now that you guys know that I'm starting a relationship series, the next video is going to be about how to recognize whether you're in a toxic relationship or not, and how to get out of it. So feel free to flood me with your questions, share your personal stories, in which I'll display here in the screen like I've always done, or I'll keep your story anonymous. Just make sure you specify that. So until I see you next time,